Today's lesson is about 원의넓이, the area of a circle. There are three main learning objectives for today's lesson. The first is 원의넓이와 관련된 아래 용어를 알아봅니다. We're going to learn about the terminology below related to the area of a circle. The second is 원의넓이 공식을 알아봅니다. We will be learning about the formula used to find the area of a circle. And third, 원의넓이를 구하는 예를 들어봅니다. We'll be looking at examples of how to find the area of a circle. Let's take a look at the major parts of a circle. First, we have the center, and in Korean we call this 원의 중심. One just means circle. And then we have the diameter, which is the straight line that passes through the center of the circle, meeting the circumference at each end. In Korean, diameter is called 지름. Then we have the radius, which is half of the diameter, and we call this 반지름, because 반 means half. And then we have the circumference, which we call the 원주. Now let's look at a very important number called pi, and in Korean it's called the 원주율. And I guarantee you that you're going to encounter pi in all of your future math classes. So first, the definition of pi. 원주율은 원의 둘레의 원의 지름에 대한 비율을 말합니다. Pi is the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter. 원의 둘레를 c라고 하고 원의 지름을 d라고 하면 원주율은 d분의 c입니다. If we let c be the circumference of a circle and call its diameter d, pi equals c over d. Pi has an infinite number of digits, so for the level of math we're currently learning, we'll just use the first two values after the decimal. So we're going to use 3.14 for pi in all of our problems. And this is kind of just a funny picture. 3.14, the mirror image of 3.14 actually spells pi, which I thought was cool. So if you're ever having trouble remembering what pi is, just think about the word pi and flip the letters around. Here's a little more information about pi. 원주율은 모든 원에 대해서 일정합니다. The value of pi is equal for all circles. 원주율 값은 소수점 두 자리까지로는 3.14입니다. So the value of pi is about 3.14. Now let's take a look at the definition of circumference. 원주는 원 둘레의 길이를 말합니다. Circumference is the length around the circle. 반지름이 커지면 원주도 커집니다. So if the radius of the circle increases, the circumference will also increase. 원주는 원주율의 지름을 곱해서 얻어집니다. So you see at the bottom, 원주는 원주율 곱하기 지름, or in English, circumference equals pi times diameter. And we just write this as c equals pi d. A mnemonic that helped me memorize this when I was learning about circumference, about circles in middle school, was cherry pie is delicious. So C, cherry, and then pi is just pie, D is delicious. So if you're having trouble memorizing the formula, just try to remember that mnemonic. The formula for finding the area of a circle is A equals pi r squared. In Korean, this is just 넓이는 원주율 곱하기 지름의 제곱입니다. And 제곱 just means squared, so 지름의 제곱 is r times r, or r squared. My mnemonic for remembering this is apple pies are 2. So for circumference, it was cherry pie is delicious, c equals pi d, and for area, it's apple pies are 2, a equals pi r squared. Okay, let's walk through an example. It says 지름이 10cm인 원의 면적을 구하세요. Find the area of a circle whose diameter is 10 centimeters. So we know that d equals 10 centimeters. We also know that we can just divide d by 2 to get our r value. So we go ahead and do 10 centimeters divided by 2 equals 5 centimeters. So now we know that r equals 5 centimeters, so we can plug this into our formula, a equals pi r squared, and this gets us 3.14 times 5 centimeters squared is equal to 78 0.50 centimeters squared. So the area of the circle with a diameter of 10 centimeters is about 78.5 centimeters squared. Now we're going to find the circumference of the same circle from earlier whose diameter is 10 centimeters. We know that the formula for circumference is c equals pi d. We already know pi and we already know d, so we just plug these values into our formula. So we do 3.14 times 10 equals 31.4 centimeters. So our final answer is that the circumference of the circle is about 31.4 centimeters. Let's go through a few more problems for practice. This one says 원의 넓이를 구하세요. So try solving this on your own first and pause the video and then unpause it when you're ready to see the solution. Okay, we know that the formula for the area is just pi r squared, so first we write a equals pi r squared. We know that pi is about 3.14, and it's given here that the radius is 6 centimeters, so we're going to plug these values into our formula, and this gets us to our final answer of 113.04 centimeters squared as the area for the circle. Okay, problem 2 says 다음과 같은 원이 있습니다. 반지름이 2배로 늘어나면 원주는 몇 배로 늘어납니까? If the radius of the following circle doubles, by what factor does the circumference increase? To solve this, we first write down our formula, c equals pi d, or c equals pi times 2r. We're going to find the circumference with the original radius first. So we do c equals 3.14 times 2 times 6, and we get the circumference to be 37.68 centimeters. Now we're going to double the radius. So when we double the radius, we get r equals 12 centimeters, and we plug that into the formula. We get c equals 3.14 times 2 times 12 equals 75.36 centimeters. 75.36 centimeters is 37.68 centimeters times 2. So to answer the question, when the radius of the circle doubles, the circumference also doubles. So it increases by a factor of 2. Question 3 says 아래 그림에서 색칠한 부분 가와 나의 넓이가 같게 되도록 직각 삼각형과 반원을 겹쳐 놓았습니다. 삼각형의 높이는 몇 cm일까요? So we drew an overlapping right triangle and half circle. If the areas of the shaded regions 가 and 나 are equal, find the height of the right triangle. So I redrew this diagram and labeled the empty space as A, and I also highlighted the radius in pink so it's easier to see. The radius of the half circle is 25 centimeters. So our first step is to set the areas of ka and na equal to each other. So first we do pi times 25 squared over 2 minus a equals 50 times height over 2 minus a. I probably should have used the variable h for height, but since the original diagram has a square, I just used a square instead of h. But anyways, the reason why the area of na on the left side is pi times 25 squared over 2 minus a is that if we were to calculate the area of a whole circle, so if this wasn't a half circle, we would use a equals pi r squared. So we did that on top, and we just divided this by 2 since we only have a half circle. We subtracted a from all of this because a is not shaded in. On the right side, we have 50 times height over 2, which is just the area of the right triangle, and we just subtracted the empty region A from all of this. We can cancel the a's on both sides, and we can also multiply each side by 2 to cancel the denominators out. This leaves us with pi times 25 squared equals 50 times height. And we put everything that's not height to one side, so we can isolate the height and find its value. So when we do this, we do pi times 25 squared divided by 50, and this gets us 39.27 centimeters. So the final answer of this problem is that the height of the right triangle is 39.27 centimeters. 다음 중 원의 넓이가 가장 큰 것은 어떤 것일까요? Which of the following circles has the greatest area? Okay, let's find the area for circle A first. We know that the radius is 4 centimeters, so we're just going to plug this into our formula, and we get A equals 3.14 times 16 centimeters squared equals 50.24 centimeters squared. For circle B, we're given the circumference. We do C equals pi times D equals 12 centimeters, and we divide pi times D and 12 centimeters both by pi so that we can get the D alone on one side. We get D equals 3.82 centimeters, and to get R, we just divide this by 2, and we get R equals 1.91 centimeters. We plug this value into our area formula to get 3.14 times 1.91 centimeters squared equals 11.46 centimeters squared. For circle C, we're given the diameter, so we divide this in half to get R equals 3.5 centimeters. Plug this into our area formula, and we get 38.47 centimeters squared as our final answer. For circle D, we know that the radius is 5 centimeters, so all we have to do is plug this into our formula and get 78.5 centimeters squared as our final answer. We want to know which circle has the largest area, so comparing all of our answers for these 4 choices, we can see that D has the largest area, circle D has the largest area of 78.5 centimeters squared, so our final answer is D.